Good day, everyone, and welcome to Home at the Hollow. My name is Glennis, and welcome to my kitchen. I want to thank y'all so much for joining me today. Summer is coming to a close. The children will be back in school. Labor Day is upon us, and I want to share a couple of recipes that we're going to be grilling out for the Labor Day holidays. One is a feta stuffed hamburger with bacon jam. That's right, you heard it, bacon jam. Oh my goodness. But first I'm going to start with the burgers because I want to get them made, stuffed, and put in refrigerated or frozen, really solidly to keep them together, hopefully, when I grill out. But I've got just a pound of ground beef, ground round, whatever it is that you have. Going to add just one egg and see if we can get this mixed up. I've got a teaspoon of Worcestershire sauce, and that goes in as well. I have about a cup of feta here waiting. As y'all might know, I've used feta a few times in the past little while in like different pasta salads and things like that. And this is basically what I had left over. I'm just simply using what I have in my pantry and what I want to move out of my fridge. I don't want to have to throw this away at all. I've got about 1/3 of a cup of panko and a healthy teaspoon of dried parsley. So I'm going to just get this mixed up and we'll be right back. So what I've been doing is I have divided as best that I could. I did bring my scale out and I've divided these up into about a 5-ounce ball, so to speak. So there you go, 5 ounces, and this is 5 ounces. And what I've done is I've shaped it because I'm going to have these not like as in a burger. I'm going to have these like in a po' boy bun or sub bun, something like that. I know they don't sell them here as po' boy buns, but a sub bun. So I've made mine long, and I've put a divot in the middle of it. And all I'm going to do is take my feta, and I still have a little bit left over. Like I said, I measured all of these out, and there was just one little bit left. But I've got my feta, I think that you can see. And I've just sprinkled it on the inside of my, I guess you could call it, not really a tunnel, or the open top burger, so to speak. Just roll it out like you would do Play-Doh. And get it as long or as short as you like it. Or if you want to just shape them just like burgers and stuff them, that's totally fine too. But I wanted to, when I serve these, I want it to be open so you can see the bacon jam in the top. And that's really all you do is, I'm not really sure if I can say sorry, is just take, I'm sure there's a better way. There might be. And let's see if we just, give yourself a couple of little walls here and ends. Take your feta and just give it a good stuff. Good stuff. And just give it a pinch. And just repeat. And that's pretty much all you need to do. Now, if you want to, I do have a little bit, of course, left over. It's not enough to really do anything. But what I'm going to do, as best that I can, is kind of flatten it. I don't know if y'all can see, sorry. I'm going to flatten it out and just give it a little bit of kind of a cover I probably will grill these, you know, in a pan, or, you know, on like some, you know, no-stick aluminum foil or something, so it doesn't, you know, fall out. Or I'm hoping that they will stay together. They should stay together with the panko and the egg. That helps. Or, you know, if you don't have panko, you can certainly use breadcrumbs, whatever it is that you have. And there we go. You know, it looks kind of unusual, but, you know, just kind of lengthen it or however it is that you see fit and put it on the grill and grill these. And we're going to get started on the bacon jam. And so here we go, y'all. I've got 3 out of a pound of ground, I think it was ground round. It was very, very lean. I usually like to have my burger 80-20, but this is what was on sale. Y'all know me in sales, but there we go. I have 3 of those in the fridge, in the freezer. And of course, you know, I think a fun thing would be, if you don't like feta, I'm basically just using what I have left over. If you have any of those cheese sticks, or if you want to cut some yourself of cheddar, some jack cheese, or anything like that, this is one of those recipes and one of those ideas that just, you know, you can make it your own. If you want to add a little bit of garlic, that would be awesome too. But I still have a little bit of feta left over, and probably more than likely when we grill these, I'll just sprinkle them on top of it. And if it melts, great, and if it just falls apart, it's going to be interesting. But no matter what, these are going to be delicious, delicious, delicious. So I have a half a pound of bacon here. Now this that I'm going to be, you know, showing y'all will make about a cup of the bacon jam. You know, of course, double it if you need more. It will only keep one, maybe a little longer, 1 week in the fridge. So you don't want to make a bunch of this up. But I do have thick sliced bacon. And of course, use what you have. I'm going to slice all of this up into 1/2 inch. And I'm really kind of guessing. I think this looks pretty close. And just get this, that's probably less than 1/2 inch, but that's okay. And there we go. I've got my bacon here ready to go. I'm just going to add the bits that I just cut into this pan. I'm going to cook this about maybe 10 minutes. You don't want to, you know, fry this until it's just like crazy cooked. And also you definitely do want it cooked, but I will show y'all in a minute kind of the consistency that you want to cook this at. And you know, if you want to cook it longer, that's okay too. Crispy is not a bad thing in this particular recipe, but probably I'm going to cook this excuse me, about 10 minutes. That's just a guess. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to set my timer just so I know. I'm going to turn it up a little bit, and this is going to be delicious. So I have just virtually, I think I have about a minute left on this, and this cooked up pretty good. And this was 9 minutes. Of course, I really cooked it really well. I guess I'm just kind of err on the side of caution, but I'm going to just drain this bacon off. as much as humanly possible from any of this grease. I don't want this to, you know, come up in my jam. I'm going to set this aside, and then I'm going to turn my attention to the onions. And here we are. This is roughly a half a pound of 1-inch, you know, browned bacon. I've, you know, just got a saucepan here. I put just, I mean, not even a tablespoon of butter. Some might take a tablespoon of the bacon grease and saute the onions in that. I personally, I don't think so. But I'm gonna just, this is 2 onions chopped. Your knife cuts are not, you know, terribly important because it is going in a jam, but I'm going to saute these probably about 8 minutes until they're soft, translucent, and you definitely want these to be cooked before you proceed. So this is about halfway into cooking, and I think you can see they're browning up very nicely just with that little bit of butter. And I've got about 5 more minutes. You know, and I do want to say that I have been standing here, you know, watching my heat and stirring because I don't want any one thing to get like too overcooked. A little bit of brown on everything is, of course, a wonderful thing. But yeah, you don't want to put this on and start sauteing this for this length of time, 8 to 10 minutes, and walk away. So that's why I'm kind of, you know, this is one of those recipes that, you know, if you're doing something else in the kitchen, if you're working in the kitchen, then that's probably a good thing. And I certainly don't mind spending extra time in the kitchen for something that my guests are just going to go, oh, you know, this is wonderful. And everyone will want to know the recipe. I've ended at my 8-minute mark, and I'm going to add my half a cup of lightly packed brown sugar. And I'm gonna, I'm gonna leave this on medium-low. Give it a good stir. Medium-low for about 15 minutes. My timer is set, and even though I'm on medium-low, or really actually more towards the low, I've got quite a good bit of heat happening here, and I don't want to walk away from this brown sugar, so I guess I'm going to stand here and stir this for the next short while. But yeah, it's looking really excellent. I thought maybe I could just, you know, kind of slip away and get a couple of things done still in the kitchen, but, and I'm not thinking so, because as I look at it, and I'm like, there's low for me, and then 2, and I'm on 2, and it's still, it's got a pretty good bubble on it. Might slow down in a minute, but there we go. Yeah, I think I feel okay enough to put this on low and let this kind of simmer down a little bit. I've got like 13 minutes left at this, and I think you can see how this is cooking up. It smells really good. I've got about 7 minutes left, and there's actually, the more I cook these particular onions in this brown sugar, there's a lot more liquid, so I feel a lot better about that. I was really super afraid it was going to become sticky and messy, but So far, I turned my heat up a little bit beyond low. I think I'm on 4, which is really like a medium low. And I'm gonna, like I said, I've got 6 more minutes, but it's looking pretty good. So we've come to the end of our cooking time. It looks just, oh my goodness, this looks beautiful. What I'm going to do is I'm going to add the well drained, and I mean I drained it on a paper towel, and I put a paper towel over it and make sure to get everything that I could off of it. The ½ pound of bacon, a ½ cup of water, and a 1/3 cup of good strong coffee. Yes, that's right, good strong coffee. And I'm going to turn this up to a medium. And as you know, as hard as this is, I'm going to allow this to simmer, but I want to stir this, or you want to stir this, probably about every 5 minutes for ½ an hour, y'all. This is, I'm telling you, it's going to be worth it. I'm telling you, it will be worth it. This is so delicious. So I'm going to set my timer for ½ an hour. I'm right in the kitchen. Believe me, I've got plenty to do here. And there's only one more ingredient to add after the ½ an hour. We're going to be adding a little bit of balsamic vinegar. But that's only after you have finished cooking this. You don't want to add balsamic vinegar in here while this is still cooking. So I am about halfway in my ½ an hour. And as you can see, the water, I think you can see, and the coffee have cooked away. And right now, I'm going to turn this down to like 1 step above low, because I don't want it to, you know, cook too hard. At this point, it looks like it's pretty well, the liquid has cooked out. So I'm going to just turn this on low and let my timer run out. I've reached the end of ½ an hour, and oh, this ever really looks so, so good. Let me see if I can pull this up for you. Wonderful, wonderful. I've got a tablespoon of balsamic vinegar, and we're going to add this, and I'm going to let this cool off slightly. Just give it a little bit of a stir. Let this cool off slightly. And I have over here I have a glass jar, a mason jar, a ball jar, ball mason actually, that I'm going to put this in, just because I think it looks really pretty. And I want it to look pretty. Even sitting in the fridge, I want it to look pretty. And there we go. It's just that easy, but like I said, I'm going to cool this off, bottle this up, and get started with my day. So these just came off the grill. I made a few frozen crinkle fries in my air fryer. I'm loving my air fryer, but I did kind of zhuzh them up a little bit with some garlic powder and some parsley. And I went ahead and I toasted up this bun, and I went ahead and cut for y'all to see. And you already know, I'm hoping that you already know about my barbecue sauce. I probably will add a little bit of this, but the star of the show is the bacon jam. And what I've done is I've had it in the fridge, of course, overnight, and you know, with really, really good draining and pressing all of the grease off of the bacon there, you couldn't see any solidified, anything icky. But what I did is, you definitely want to warm this up before you use this. and enjoy this. And I have had a taste or two, and it is delicious. It is so good. It's, as you can see, it is thick as well. And this came out really perfectly. I couldn't be any happier. I might add a little bit of cheese on this, but basically there you go. Your guest, your family, your friends, if you're having a grill out for Labor Day. I'm going to pick this up to show you. This is going to be so good. I hope that you give it a try. It is well worth the little bit of extra effort. And I hope you enjoy. I want to thank y'all again for joining me here, home at the Hollow. Goodbye, y'all.